the loudest in the National Football League, as we kick it off between Killer Mike, the #1 seed, and John Savage, Savage Gnome. And it's Seahawks v. Seahawks, and there it is, the action green with Savage. He will have the ball first, and it looks like Killer Mike will be on defense, and he's got that Dallas Cowboy defense. I thought that was a little bit outside the box.
Yeah, 4-3 base for the Cowboys. Now, why he picked the Cowboys playbook is it has 46.
Yep.
So that old school Bears 85 defense, he uses that formation in the red zone. Very good short yardage, run defense, red zone D, so he gets a little bit extra value by selecting that Dallas Cowboys playbook. It's what he used last year, 46, and he won the whole thing, so why would you change it?
Absolutely. Killer Mike with the ball on offense in the action green, and you'll see a lot of that bunch for Killer Mike, and he's in the shotgun and hands it off to his running back, and he's to the right side, picks up about 5 or 6 yards there. So Savage Gnome, we had it right correctly the first time, I apologize. Savage Gnome with the ball on offense in the action green. Killer Mike on defense with the navy blue Seahawks, Zach.
Yeah, you see Tevin Coleman. Tevin Coleman for the Falcons, he's a backup, but he's not necessarily a backup in a traditional sense that he spells Freeman. He comes in on third downs, he makes huge plays, and he is excellent and consistent, and he's a really good value for salary cap. Look at that Russell Wilson for Savage Gnome. He's got to have a big day if Gnome's going to win this thing.
Tevin Coleman, very popular in the Madden community. Saw Ryan Shazier, the Steelers linebacker, playing tight end. We talked about it, pass knocked down by Killer Mike, doing a good job on defense. We'll have a 3rd down and 4. Talk about Savage Gnome using Shazier on offense.
Popular strategy by players is to get a middle linebacker who can be subbed in at tight end. They're very, very fast. They're not good. They can't catch in traffic. They can't really run any routes. But if you use streaks in drags, very popular routes that don't require those things, you can get a lot of value on your salary cap team, and you essentially get 2 players for one player for 2 positions, and you save yourself some cap. So you'll see that over the course of the game.
All right, here we go, 3rd and 4, and we've got a timeout. Timeout in the action here. See those fans, and that's what it's going to be like on Monday night right there. You're going to see a lot of that. The 12's going crazy here. I've been out here twice to cover games with the Patriots and the Dolphins, and both times I had hearing loss going back east, being out here with the 12s. I always say CenturyLink Field and Arrowhead Stadium, the 2 loudest venues that I've been in, covering all 32 NFL teams. 3rd and 4, Savage Gnome in the gun. Got twins to the left, twins to the right there. Russell Wilson, dangerous. Fakes the handoff to Tevin Coleman. Plenty of time for Russ, and he's going deep, and that might be picked off, and it is picked off by Earl Thomas, the safety for the real Seahawks, bringing it back, and he breaks the tackle, and he keeps going, Zach. 20, 15, 10, 5, and we got a pick 6 the other way. The Air Force Command controller takes it back the other way, and Killer Mike is on the scoreboard with the pick 6, Zach.
Full command of his controller on that play. Earl Thomas, the free safety in center field, grabs it, and you know what? He says, I'm not done. He runs all the way down the sideline, breaks a tackle, and gets in. Unfortunate break there for Gnome. Not a good read. And Earl Thomas, the guy who's able to take that back, and that is why you want to go follow social media if you get a chance. But that Earl Thomas right there, it's actually a better version that you get in the giveaway than that Earl Thomas.
Guys, make sure that you hop on the Twitch and watch those drops with that Earl Thomas. That's a great player that you can add to your roster. We talked about it, Zach, when we were speaking with Killer Mike. He talked about it. His defense, secondary and receivers. He says, that's where I'm heavy. That's where I'm stacked. The secondary coming through there early for Killer Mike.
Chris Harris Jr., Rondé Barber, Jarius Byrd, Earl Thomas, and a little guy by the name of Ed Reed. From the U. From the U. A legend who's back in this game.
All right, there's the Gnome with the ball, and he's got Coleman. Runs, breaks a couple of tackles, and picks up about 16. There'll be a 1st down on a nice run to the left side for Savage Gnome.
See a lot of youngsters watching in the crowd. That spin move, hold down that left trigger, press the B button, boom. You'll get that precision spin move, get a guy with higher than a 90 rating. Perfect.
Savage Gnome back on offense, 2nd possession after throwing that pick 6 to Killer Mike. 1st and 10.
The killer pick.
And what? That was a killer pick. 1st and 10. Savage Gnome. Oh, be careful there. Knocked down He's going to have to tighten up the offense and throwing the ball. Now, look, we spoke with Savage Gnome, and the defense is the stronger side for him. We wanted to know if he could make some comebacks, if he can get back in the game when he had to throw the ball. That was a small concern of his. We're seeing that now, Zach. Can he pull through, and can he get back into the ball game and not lose it throwing the ball?
Not lose it early. Russell Wilson right now 0 for 3. He decided to stick with Russell Wilson on his cap team. He's a Seahawks fan. He's a local guy. He said, you know what, I could have changed my quarterback, but I'm going to stick with Russell, and Russell delivers a strike across the middle, gets his first completion,
to
18 yards. Shazier, he goes hurry-up offense, and maybe he can find a rhythm with this hurry-up. We'll see if he can get it done.
Savage Gnome back in the gun. Hands off to Tevin Coleman on the left side. Good defense there by Killer Mike. We'll give him a gain of possibly 1. Give him 2 there, 2nd and 8 for Savage Gnome, Zach.
Yeah, and that's Jadeveon Clowney. Elite version, Mutt Hero. High ratings in finesse moves, so he's out there to rush the passer, but he's also got that hit power, and you physically heard the hit that Coleman just took. Fortunately, he hung on to the ball, but how many times can he hang on? Fumbles add up, the hits add up, Larry.
They do. Sometimes Madden is good to you, Zach. You taught me that, and sometimes Madden is not so good to you.
What they say.
2nd and 8, dangerous. Russell Wilson back to pass, plenty of time. He's looking once again. Knocked away, almost caught by his receiver. We'll have 3rd and 8 for Savage Gnome.
Teaching moment for the kids at home. He's dropping too far back in the pocket. The blocker was able to quickly disengage. He steps up in the pocket. He'll have more time. You saw the edge defender kind of rush in. Step up, set your feet, deliver an NFL level throw. That's not going to get it done.
Coming into the ball game, you talk to Savage Gnome. He says he hasn't really scouted. Once again, another incompletion. Good defense by Killer Mike. He hasn't really scouted Killer Mike, so he doesn't know a whole lot about him. Killer Mike's kind of a shadowy kind of person out there. Not a lot of, not a lot of tweets, not a lot of action on Twitter or Facebook. So it was hard for him to get a beat on what Killer Mike is trying to do.
Yeah, a lot of these guys have gameplay tape, footage of them online. Just like an NFL coach, you go and you scout and you watch the footage. You say, Killer Mike likes to do this on 3rd down. Killer Mike likes to call this defense and send this blitz. Killer Mike doesn't play many games online. He's gone to minimal tournaments, so it's hard to see what he does. So the first time you get to see it is that opening drive. You miss a coverage, and you're down 7-0.
Competitive Madden guys, 4th and 8. Of course, they're going to go for it, and there's the fake to Tevin Coleman. Russ Wilson looking. He's got a receiver across the middle. I think he came up a little short there, Zach. Gain of about 7.5. He does not pick up the 1st down. Ball goes over to Killer Mike. He's got the ball now. His 2nd possession with a 7-0 lead. Savage Gnome has to tighten up. He's got a bull his neck on defense here, Zach.
7 yards when you need 8. That's tough. He did step up in the pocket, almost broke the tackle, but just couldn't get it done. A great stand from Killer Mike. Already with the lead. Let's see if he goes conservative or airs it out.
No, he's going to air it out. He's going with that bunch. That formation that he likes to use, one of his favorite formations, the bunch, the trail, and the curl. We'll see what he's able to do. But we're going to see what Mike is capable of offensively when he gets things rolling.
And he's using the Raiders offensive playbook. He's also got his quarterback, Derek Carr. Carr has a special ability called conductor. When he gets to the line of scrimmage, he can make lots of adjustments, which you're seeing him do. Gives him a little bit of an advantage.
2nd and 16 for Killer Mike. Hits a receiver on the right-hand side there, and he picks up about 10. It'll be 3rd and 6 for Killer Mike on the move on offense in the navy blue.
Bunch trail, one of the best plays in the game. You start calling that more, you will win more games. Killer Mike's receivers, also pretty killer. Randy Moss, DeAndre Hopkins, and Jerry Rice, the GOAT.
Not bad. He's got Nuke Hopkins out there. The Nuke the bomb from the Texans just caught that ball on 2nd and 16, picked up 10. Hands off up the middle, and it's running back. Coleman picks up a couple of yards, and we're going to have about 4 or 5 yards.
And he's hustling to the line here on 4th down, and he's going to try and quick snap it against his opponent. Now, you're already up 7-0. Why give your opponent the ball back? That's something that great Madden players do. They like to possess the ball. They're willing to go for it on 4th down, and here he goes.
That's competitive Madden, and a blitz off the right side of the defense. And Russell Wilson goes down, and it's a turnover ball turned over on downs for Savage Gnome, and he does the job. They're playing great defense.
Is that a huge stop for Savage?
Huge.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a huge stop. Defense is his specialty. Miami playbook is what he's using on defense. He's already trailing if you're Killer Mike. He's having trouble moving the ball, and now you give him the ball at the 26-yard line with a chance to guarantee himself 3 points. Potential mistake there for Mike.
Got Ryan Shazier running down the middle of the field. Dangerous. Wilson looking for Nelson. He's got a receiver. Stiffs on him and inside the 5-yard line. Nice little stiff arm there for his receiver. And it's going to be 1st and goal for Savage No.
That's the Russell Wilson difference. You see it on Sundays. You're probably going to see it tomorrow on Monday or 2 days from now on Monday. Because Russell Wilson can break the pocket. He can conduct these offense from outside there. Tell a guy, hey, cut up field. I'm going to hit you. Gets a huge passing play. And even though he doesn't have a ton of yardage or a ton of first downs in this game, he's knocking on the door to tie this football game.
So much for the, my receivers aren't good, but he's got good speed on offense. So he did talk about that. Coleman up the middle, knocked backwards by Killer Mike. Good defense there, a good run commit from the Air Force Command Post Controller.
Ed Reed flying it in.
2nd and goal. Savage Gnome in the action green, down 7-0 early on first quarter, under 20 seconds remaining in the first for Savage Gnome, trailing Killer Mike 7-0. We're live here on twitch.tv/EA Madden NFL.
And this is where having a Ryan Shazier does not help you as much as having a Jimmy Graham type player.
Russ rolling to his right, throws and got a receiver inside of the 1, does not get in. It'll be 3rd and goal from about the 1-inch line.
Good news is getting down to the 1-yard line instead of the 4 opens up your playbook because now you can go to goal line, you can run a QB sneak potentially, a fullback dive, you can run power O, or you can throw off play action. It just gives you, forces the defense to worry about more. You know he's probably not going to run from the 4-yard line because there's just too many players can press, but once you get that much closer, you have a chance to use some different plays in your red zone offense.
Talked to both competitors early on as well about their red zone offense, and both were pleased with it. And there's a touchdown. Coleman scores off the right side, and we're almost knotted at 7, guys, pinning the extra point. Savage Gnome on the scoreboard here. Fans loving it here inside of Central League Field, live here in Rain City near the Puget Sound, and we've got a tie ball game, 7-7 in our first semifinal for the Madden 18 Seahawks Championship here live at Central League Field.
Savage said, I don't know much about Killer Mike, but the one thing I know is Killer Mike does not know a lot about me. We're both in the dark, and they're both trying to surprise each other with their offenses, with their defenses. In a Madden game, the first quarter, second quarter, it's about feeling out your opponent, getting a read on their tendencies, finding out what they want to do, what formations they like to use. And then in the second half, it's about making adjustments and taking those things away. So that's kind of the process of this drive. What does Killer Mike want to do? How can he get something going on offense? Because he hasn't had the ball much. He didn't score on offense. How can I then attack my opponent, Savage, and what he's trying to do?
He's going back to that old reliable, that gun bunch, and there's a nice dot there. Completed there. Was it incomplete?
Got his feet in and got the catch.
Like he did.
Bunch trail, that corner route. He's using Jerry Rice in that specific position. 91 route running for Jerry Rice. Lets him run a crispier route than most players over there. And that's how he delivers the throw on the sideline. He holds down that A button on Xbox. He gets a possession catch right on the sideline. Toe tap, toe drag swag, as Larry says.
Drag swag.
It moves the chain, 17 yards.
Tevin Coleman off the left side, gain of 1 second and 9 for Killer Mike, the Air Force Command Post Controller, back on offense. Got plenty of time. He's looking. He's got a receiver, and he's got Randy Moss off the left-hand side, and that's enough for a first down. Killer Mike moving the stick, Zach.
In this bunch trail play, it has a very deep post route, so it's got a big-time home run threat potential route. Because you might be saying, well, why does he keep giving him underneath? Well, he has to commit a lot of resources to stop DeAndre Hopkins out on the far right. That opens up things underneath. That opens up the run game a little bit. And you're starting to see Killer Mike get comfortable here in that Raiders offense, working the ground game, being more balanced, feels more confident than ever about his offense. And look, looking pretty good.
Killer Mike talked about coming back to defend his title here with the Seahawks now, and he's a huge Seahawks fan now, and he's got a receiver, Randy Moss, down the left side. That's what we're talking about right there. And you've got those receivers like he's got. Nuke the bomb, Randy Moss, Jerry Rice, receivers like that. And you've got time, Zach, you're going to get to make some crucial plays downfield. He's got to do a better job, Savage Gnome, putting heat on Russell Wilson. There's the running back on 1st and 10. Up the gut, Tevin Coleman inside the 5. Give him about 6 or 7 there. It'll be 2nd and 3 for Tevin Coleman and Killer Mike on the move.
Yeah, and he was a defender. So he was running around and Mike threw it right over his guy he was controlling. He wasn't controlling a great player in the middle there like an Anthony Barr who was big and tall. So Killer Mike felt pretty confident about throwing that directly at his defender.
I want to thank our sponsors here. CenturyLink, of course, their name adorned on top of this stadium here, one of the loudest venues in all of the National Football League. CenturyLink Field here in Seattle. And there's Jerry Rice off the left-hand side, and he's in the end zone for a touchdown. Killer Mike back on the teeter-totter. Seesaws back in front. It's 13-7, pinning the PAT. Zach.
Wide receiver quick. He handed the ball off to Jerry Rice. He faked it to the halfback. He didn't even know what hit him. Wow.
Well, he talked about it on one of his red zone plays. That's what he talked about in our production meeting earlier, Zach.
It's very difficult to score inside the 10-yard line in Madden. The red zone, that's about the area most players consider toughest way. They like to switch up their play calls when they get down there and kind of go to these like gadget one-off plays. Look to the handoff. Jerry Rice sneaks in, grabs it, goes all the way around the corner. Touchdown, Killer Mike. And after that opening drive, which was a disappointment, now he feels pretty good. Maybe he feels more comfortable picking up the blitz, getting more patient, and he's looking good. 14-7.
14-7, the defending Madden Club champion, Killer Mike with the lead, and there's Savage Gnome, and there's a good pass, and it's incomplete. Ball should have been caught there by the receiver. There is 2nd and 10 for Savage Gnome.
Rolling out of the pocket, Russell Wilson, he has a throw on the run rating. It's very high, but the more you can set your feet, the better off you are. He was rolling there, could have potentially impacted his accuracy. See the ball float over the receiver's head. Fortunately, not intercepted.
Definitely inaccurate on that throw. There he had 2 receivers open on that right sideline. There's Russell Wilson going back across the left side to that slant on the backside, and he is complete. We'll give him, I was about to say 6 or 7 yards on that 3rd and 3. So another big 3rd down here for Savage Gnome. The reception by Richardson, the Seahawks receiver, playing very well here with the real Seahawks once again. That will be live on Monday Night Football. The Seahawks and the Falcons, a battle of the birds here. A rematch of the playoff game last year as well.
And he is using the Houston offensive playbook. This pitch play from tight slots, you saw it at the Madden Classic, the first major in the championship series. Stevie J ran it. It's a very difficult run to defend. That pitch is very quick to the outside. Good stuff in that Houston book, and he's also using a trips look. So he's mixing it up. He likes to get comfortable in this formation and then branch out from there, but I like to see him go back down into this. Toss it out again.
Oh, sweet. There it is.
See if Coleman can break a tackle. The good thing about this formation, tight slots, Larry, balanced. So you can run it to the left, you can flip it and run it to the right, but nobody changes positions because it's balanced.
Yes.
So your opponent doesn't know, is he going to run it left or is he going to run it right? And that is what can be the difference. Whichever way they commit their extra defenders, boom, you go the other way.
Exactly. So he's got twins to the right, twins to the left there. Running back, dotting right behind the quarterback there. So you're right, a very balanced offense right here. 2nd and 8 for Savage Gnome. Down 7 to Killer Mike. It's a 14-7 ball game. He's got plenty of time. Here's the pressure coming, and there's the pass, and it's picked off, tipped in the air. Picked off by, is that Richard Sherman? It is.
Like it.
And he's breaking out, and he runs through him, and he's still running, and he's inside, I believe, of the 25 near the red zone. So Killer Mike, once again, with his 2nd pick of the ball game. Killer Mike once again in business after 23 of Savage Gnome.
And it was Chris Harris that got him in the flat, that tipped the pick. Questionable run stick on the return, kind of a little spin, but it was fancy. It looked good while he was doing it. And this Seahawks defense looking like the Seahawks defense you know.
Oh, be careful there. Read very well by the defense of Savage Gnome. So 2nd and 10 for Killer Mike, who's on the move once again, trying to put some distance between himself and Savage Gnome.
You don't want to be the backseat guy who's like, X was open, but X was open. X was open in the middle of the field. He went to the flat, didn't work out for him. Chris Harris, in my opinion, next to Earl Thomas, is the best defender in all of Madden 18. And so you don't want to target him if you can help him.
Once again, another inaccurate pass there on the right-hand side. So 3rd down and 10. Killer Mike, offense bogging down a little bit with his quarterback, Derek Carr.
And another huge element of Madden is clock management. 1:38 here in the second quarter. You have all day. You got to hold him to 3. You get the ball. Killer Mike gets the ball after the half, so you make this the last possession. You're sitting really good with possession, with the clock, with the score situation, so be smart.
3rd and 8. Oh, and it's batted down by Richard Sherman there. Tried to go across the right side. So we're going to have 4th and 10, and I think Killer Mike will probably settle for this field goal here. So he gets the pick, gets it all the way back near the red zone, and bogs down and doesn't gain a yard. The kick is up, and it's good. So Killer Mike does get the field goal, but that's a win. Don't get it twisted, folks. That is a win for Savage Gnome. Anytime you can only give up field goals, it's just like real football. Field goals and touchdowns will decide this contest.
It's a win because his first pick he gave up 7, and then his second pick he only gave up 3. He's got to eventually throw a pick and give up 0, or just stop throwing picks altogether.
Right.
We'll see where he ends up. Notice Savage Gnome, though. We haven't talked much about his defense quite yet. It has held up for him out of the Miami defensive playbook. He's got some guys on it as well. Michael Kendricks, Ryan Shazier, Cliff Averill, anybody? Joey Bosa, Aaron Donald. He has spent multiple, and that's why his receivers aren't quite as good as Killer Mike's, because he's got the defensive line to prove it, plus Chris Harris, Jarius Byrd, Paul Krause, the Vikings legend, and Ed Reed.
Ed Reed, Harris, Sherman, that secondary is loaded for Savage Gnome, and he talked about it. He's got a receiver. He's got Nelson across the left side, and he's near midfield. This is a very critical possession for Savage Gnome. If he can score, take some time off the clock, get this thing within 3 points, he's back in the ball game. Do not leave Killer Mike any time. So here's that clock management that you talk about all the time, Carl.
See if this screen pass is going to work or if Killer Mike is going to sniff it out. Let's see. This is a big play for Mike. Does not sniff it. Does not sniff it.
Picks up about 7 or 8 there, so we'll call it 2nd and 2. We'll actually give him 6 on that play. 2nd and 4 for Savage Gnome.
In Russell Wilson's getting out of the pocket, it's helped him a couple times because he's got a few big plays out of it. It's hurt him a couple times because of overthrows, and then it's really damaged him with a few interceptions. But ultimately, if he can continue to get out of the pocket, Killer Mike will have to commit more resources to stopping Russell Wilson.
Over the middle, caught. Gain of about 3, we'll call it 3rd and 1, or actually gain of 2, 3rd and 2. Go back to Killer Mike. He talked about his offense and his offensive line not being very good. Maybe that was a problem on that last possession there. Didn't spend any money on his cap with the offensive line for Killer Mike.
So, you know, Madden's rating scale goes from 0 to 100. 60 is considered pretty low. Silver level players. And they're going against guys like Aaron Donald, who's 91, Joey Bosa, who's 91, Cliff Averill, who's 86. And you're seeing some domination on that offensive line battle, and that could be costing Killer Mike, who has a Randy Moss, but it's not so great to have a Moss if you can't have the time to throw it to him.
Exactly, and there's a completion once again to Ryan Shazier, the Steelers linebacker playing tight end.
And he's going to hurry up rather than take his last time out. He's going to hurry up. He's got 20 seconds. Interesting call here. He's going to maybe even go for the spike. 16 seconds, so he still has 1 timeout. That took a lot of time to get it done.
Cost him about 10 seconds.
You want to get up there and you can run the same play over again. Maybe a little bit of the big stage. You have to get 3 on this drive. You got to pull it into it with a 1-score game because Killer Mike gets the ball after half.
But yeah, I was thinking you need 7, really, to make this thing tight and competitive, knowing good and well that Killer Mike probably will get this thing cranked up with the offense at some point. If he can get some time with that offensive line. Gun bunch there on the left-hand side. Russell Wilson looking, and he throws backwards to his receiver Moore, and up the middle, gain of about 6 or 7. But if you're Killer Mike, you're like, I'll give that to you all day long, and he's going to have to settle for this field goal to get this thing within 7 points here with 4 seconds left in the second quarter, Zach.
Brandon McManus is his kicker. In salary cap, you spend 15 of your $750 cap on Brandon McManus. It's worth it in this situation. You feel confident at the
Wow, that is wide right with the Miami University of Miami Hurricanes playing right now.
Shankopotamus right there, wide right.
Wow.
Any Florida State fans here? Sorry, too soon. You spend cap on the McManus. Get down to the end of the half, you have a chance. You're going against the club champion, not the Seattle club champion.
Overall.
Everybody's club champion. And you're within a score, potentially, after throwing a pick 6 and costing yourself 7 points. That's a big, big, big miss with him getting the ball. An unfortunate move there. You have to capitalize on that stuff if you want to take down the club champion.
I think Killer Mike, if he gets the ball here in the second half and he can put up 7, I think that's the separation that he's looking for. Now it's a 17-point ball game. I think he may just walk out of here and get into the final and maybe another shot against Kiv or that winner that Kiv will be playing in his matchup. So once again, it's halftime here. Killer Mike, the Air Force Command Post Controller, leading 17-7 over John Savage, the Savage Gnome. What did you like in that first half, and what are some things that Savage Gnome needs to do offensively and defensively to make this thing a little more tighter?
I loved his defense. It was great. It got him back in the football game. I liked his ability to get out of the pocket with Russell Wilson. I just thought he was a little bit risky with some of the throws that he made. With the defenders that Killer Mike has assembled on his roster, you can't take chances. He'll make you pay, and he did that in that half. So you just got to be a little bit more careful. But now you don't really have time to be careful because you got to get back in this game and open it up.
All right, it's halftime. We're live here at Central League Field in Seattle. Make some noise. 12s will come back with more. Larry Ridley alongside Zach Farley will come back with more of the Seahawks Madden 18 Championship after this quick timeout.
It starts with my grandfather. He entered the military when he was 17 years old. Once he became a serviceman, he realized the importance of giving of himself to others. He embodied that in so many different ways, and he taught me that as his grandson. I've known a lot of people who have served. They've given up so much. They've sacrificed so much. And when I asked myself, what did they sacrifice for? You know, what was the purpose? And it was to protect our freedoms.
Welcome back here live to Seattle, Washington. We're in the Pacific Northwest for the Seahawks Madden 18 Championship. Yes, Rain City, there's no rain, it's beautiful. It seems like every time, Zach, we come to Seattle, it's always beautiful. I'm starting not to believe that it rains here. I really do believe that.
You know, there's a mountain in the distance. I looked out today, I'm like, is that a mountain?
Yeah,
that is a mountain.
Big one.
It's a mountain indeed. Seattle's a great city. I checked out the market today. They weren't throwing any fish yet. They also weren't throwing any interceptions out there. We've got a great second half coming up in this one. Killer Mike trying to take control of this game. He converted fully to his Seahawks fandom after winning the championship last year. He looks good in those green colors, Larry.
Yeah, living now in Spokane, Washington. From the California area. Used to be a Chargers fan, but of course they left San Diego to go to Los Angeles out in LA. So he's now a Seahawks fan. He's on board 12. So welcome him into the Seahawk fandom here. So we're going to get into the third quarter. And what does Killer Mike need to do to maybe kind of put that foot on his neck?
There's two ways you can go here. If you're Killer Mike, you run Oakland offense, you like to run gun bunch. It's a high-powered passing formation. Many people might think, well, why doesn't he just run the ball? It's 5-minute quarters. That's 10 minutes a game, 30-second play clock, and much salary cap.
His O-line's not good.
Couple first downs. He can't afford to. So do you control it or do you air it out? Do you put your pedal to the metal, your foot on the gas? You score a touchdown on this opening drive, you've got a spot in the finals, but you don't want to risk turning it over. So there's a balance here from Killer Mike. We're going to see how he decides to play it. My money is on passing the ball. He opens it up, and that's where Savage has to get his value from his lineup of Sherman, Chris Harris, Jarius Byrd, Paul Krause, Ed Reed. They have to come up big. They have early so far, and he's got to get there here in this third quarter.
All right, we're back here live on twitch.tv/EA Madden NFL, also on Seahawks.com, on Facebook, all Twitter, you name it, YouTube, we're here. And let's get live into the action here live at Central League Field in Seattle. And there's the 12s. Make some noise, 12s. You're loud and proud. The loudest fan base in all of the National Football League. Make some noise here inside of Central League Field as we get started with the third quarter. Once again, Killer Mike, the Air Force Command Post Controller during this week or this month of service that the NFL is doing. And once again, make some noise for the Air Force Command Post Controller. We can't thank him enough for his service. And there's Killer Mike in the foreground there. And also Savage Gnome on the other side, third quarter, and it will be Killer Mike with the ball. Here we go. Off the left-hand side, Kevin Coleman, in about 3 yards here, Zach.
Killer Mike with a killer Seahawks jersey. Custom uniforms here from the Seahawks to each competitor. An amazing takeaway. No matter win or lose, you go home with an awesome jersey with your name on the back. That's great for all participants here in this club championship. We had thousands and thousands of registrations and hundreds of thousands of games played to qualify for this thing. These guys earning rewards no matter what, just for showing up to this event and being a part of it.
Plenty of time for Derek Carr, and he's going to let loose. Oh, be careful there. Knocked down at the last minute by Sherm. Good defense there by Savage Gnome. 3rd and 7 for Killer Mike. Once again, Killer Mike up 17-7 in the 3rd quarter. Gets the ball on this first possession. Can he create some separation with Savage Gnome on defense in the action green, Zach?
Savage needed a pick there. Killer Mike goes underneath, gets the block, and Evan Ingram from the New York Giants.
Yes.
Similar.
Hotty Toddy, the old former Ole Miss Rebel.
Fastest tight end in the game. Great job underneath to get the ball, get in space, 22 yards on 3rd and 7. Killer Mike needs to keep moving those chains. Keep possession of the ball, keep the lead to go to the finals. Back in that gun bunch to the right-hand side. Running back, Tevin Coleman offset to the left side. Derek Carr in the gun. 1st and 10 around the 45-yard line for Killer Mike. Once again, the Seahawks Madden 17 club champion. The overall Madden 17 club champion as well. Hands off to Tevin Coleman, breaks a tackle, running hard. Falls forward for a gain of about 3. It'll be 2nd and 7 for Killer Mike. And what you saw there was a tackle battle. So when you're running the ball, if a button pops up over your head, you got to push that button before your opponent does, and you'll break the tackle. Coleman gets into a lot of these tackle battles. He breaks a lot of tackles. He's fast. He can catch out of the backfield. He's the perfect halfback for this type of offense, where it's a passing predominant formation and he gets into some good routes. 2nd and 7 for Killer Mike. Plenty of time. Got a receiver wide open on the right side. It's Nuke the bomb, DeAndre Hopkins on the right-hand side, and give him a 1st down there, 1st and 10. Look, if you are John Savage Gnome, he was telling us earlier on in our production meeting that defensive guys can make more plays than offensive guys. That's why he tilted a little bit more with the salary cap on defense. It's time to step up now. There's no way, and you know what, that you can go down 24-7 in this ball game. And Tevin Campbell breaking tackles, picks up about 5 or 6 there. Killer Mike off to a great start on offense, Zach. He needs his guys to step up. There was an opportunity for him to get a pick earlier. He missed it, and it's not so much the completions that he's given up. It's the tackling after the catch that's hurt him more than anything else so far. 2nd down and 4 for Killer Mike, up 17-7. Under 3 minutes to play, and the clock tick, 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 tick. You talked about it. Madden is a game of possessions, guys. It's possessions, touchdowns, and field goals. That's the ball game in Madden. Russell Wilson takes off. Oh, and he does the great job there sliding. With Derek Carr, for the quarterback for Killer Mike. Kids at home, pop quiz. How do you slide with the quarterback? X. Tap X. You want to make sure you're not holding turbo, otherwise you'll dive, potentially fumble. Smart play to not take a hit. Quarterbacks will fumble all the time. Be smart. Save your pride. Save your quarterback.
Save your quarterback.
Slide.
Tevin Coleman off the left-hand side. Hey, why is Tevin Coleman so popular in Madden? I mean, he runs hard. He's a good back in Madden. He's the number 2 back on his own team, Zach.
He's got the skills for your salary cap team to receive, to be fast enough, and to break some tackles. He hangs on to the football.
Good.
So that's very valuable. And once one halfback becomes a little bit popular, it spreads throughout the community like a wildfire. So you'll see a lot of players use Tevin Coleman, just like you see a lot of players use this Carson Wentz that we'll see in the next game.
Yes.
A lot of players use Randy Moss. They use Anthony Barr. This consensus happens, and that's the way to go. Now, some players will just do something completely random. They'll use somebody you never heard of.
Ricky Williams was a lot last year. Yeah, he's one of those guys. Like, okay, why are we, dusting off Ricky Williams here in Madden Ultimate Team? It's 3rd down and 2 for Killer Mike, and he's got plenty of room to the left-hand side. Coleman running hard, and once again falls forward inside, I guess around the 10. It'll be 1st and 10. Yes, not 1st and goal, 1st and 10 from about the 10.5. So he technically can pick up a 1st down. Once again, Killer Mike on the move.
And this halfback base run is eating up this Tampa 2. Tampa 2 is the most popular defense in Madden. If you play yourself, you should call it. 60% of the time, you'll get way, way, way better. But it doesn't stop the run as well as cover 4 does. Cover 4, those 2 safeties would come down and help out. He's not going to that. We'll see if he clamps down in the red zone. If he holds him to a field goal, he is okay. But Mike's used this whole quarter.
Oh, he had the hole on the right, but he had the one on the left. Great running there, and it's another touchdown by Killer Mike, and he is off to a 16-point lead, pinning the PAT. Killer Mike once again in the end zone. He makes a house call, and it is now 24-7 the Madden 17 overall club champion, off to a big lead now, and there's the separation he was looking for, Zach.
7 points is huge, 11 plays, 81 yards, but the most important thing is 4 minutes, 17 seconds off the clock.
Demoralizing.
Huge limit of possession for your opponent. You couldn't get the ball back. Now you're tricking into the fourth quarter, trending that way, and you're already down 3 scores. So that is a championship level drive by Killer Mike. I can't explain how difficult that is to do, especially that Savage Gnome had seen your offense a little bit, so you adjusted better than he did at halftime, and that is why you are the representative for the Seahawks. Last season you did that well, and this year you're looking pretty good, like you might do it again.
Came out running the ball this time for Killer Mike, and you look at those 3 possessions, that tells me that Savage Gnome needs to steal 2 more possessions to try to tie up this ball game or even possibly win it.
And Larry, sometimes Madden's easy, sometimes Madden's hard. He just had a drop to his receiver. That's just Madden's hard. Sometimes it's going. He just got a touchdown scored by Felton on him against Aaron Donald and all his great studs, and then he just dropped the rock, and he's probably saying, sometimes Madden's hard.
Yes, sometimes it's not good to you. 2nd down and 10 on the screen pass, and I guess we'll give him a gain of very little there, maybe a yard or 2, so it's going to be a 3rd and long coming up for Savage Gnome. He's got to reach into that playbook. What do you do here, Zach? I mean, at some point you have to kind of open this thing up.
Yeah.
Tick, 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 tick.
And that's
it's
where,
almost the 4th quarter.
That's where not having the receivers hurts you. I like the screen pass call. It's a high reward. It's a low risk, high reward potential play. So it's a good call in that situation. But you got to get this snap off before the 4th quarter and go underneath here to Nelson, who's fast, but he's not going to break a tackle. He's not going to do too much more after the catch. Now you face a critical 4th down in the 4th quarter.
Good defense there by Killer Mike. Once again, he's rocking the 4-3. Likes to play a little bit of that wide 9 and a little bit of the under there with the 4-3. So
I tell you what, though, at the end of the day, for John Savage, you come back to Madden, you make a live event, which is extremely difficult to do.
And you're in the money.
And when in Killer Mike, we said, Killer Mike, what do you know about Savage Gnome? He said, I chatted with him a little bit before the game, and he's a pretty cool dude. So no matter what, you make $1,000. Your opponent thinks you're a pretty cool dude.
Right.
And you got the last name Savage, which is just super cool.
Randy would be very, very, oh, don't you go there, and it's picked off. Is that Anthony Barr? It is. Oh, good move there. And he's brought down around the 20-yard line, and the 3rd time today, Killer Mike with the pick heading the other way. Oh, Killer Mike's defense, strong today, a strong effort. He's up 24-7 and looking to tack on more, Zach.
Savage read across the middle. Anthony Barr grabs it. He's huge, 6'5". He covers a lot of ground, grabs the pick, busts out a spin move, gets him, more importantly, gets the ball back, lets him start to run the ball here. And for Savage, you beat some great players on your way here. You beat Jacoby. Good players. Sometimes you got to learn how to win. That's what they say about teams. It takes some time to get to that big stage, to get the experience. You're only 27 years old. There's time for you to get back. Just not your day.
Not his day in the action green. Savage Gnome on defense. 2nd down and 14th. Good start there for Savage Gnome, though, with a 4-yard loss. Killer Mike on the move near the red zone. 2nd and 14, and he's just going to run this thing. And this is smart football by Killer Mike. You have a lead. You just continue to run it. Tick, 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 tick. Time coming off the clock, Zach.
Little pro tip here. If you press LB, that's going to change your tempo, so you can do no huddle or you can do chew clock.
That's it.
Many players online will change it to chew clock. It puts the play clock all the way down to 10 seconds. You don't have to wait to snap the ball. Game ends faster. You get victories faster. Then you go back online. With all the time you save, you go back online and you win even more.
That's it. A pro tip from Zach Farles. Off the right-hand side, Coleman, a gain of about 6 or 7. So it'll be, what are we looking at, 4th and 2 here. I was going to call it 4th and 1, 4th and 2 there. So if you kill a Mike here, do you go ahead and kick that field goal and not even mess around? Of course, that's what you do. And he's going to kick the field goal, and it's going to be from about up and good. Now, Killer Mike with a 20-point lead. Now it's 27-7. Killer Mike with 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game.
And could he have gone for that, just got the first down and then taken 3 more downs worth of time off? Yes, but your opponent has no momentum right now, so why give him an opportunity to feel like he's getting back in? It's pretty much cemented at this point. You got to lock up on defense. You know you've got some great players here. Killer Mike, he's got some unheralded players too. So he's got Dewey McDonald, right outside linebacker, a very good value player. He's got Elvis Dumerville, who's a bronze at 59. He puts those guys in. They're very, very low cap, and they can still make some plays, though.
Well, Killer Mike, he talked about it. He says, look, you know, I don't think I'm going to blow anybody out in this tournament. So he's definitely respectful of his opponent, but winning makes him expect more, and that's why he's back here. The winning that he's done, that he did last year. He lost to Skeeman earlier this year, 50-12, if you guys can believe that. Killer Mike, the Madden club champion overall last year, lost not too long ago to Skeeman, 50-12. I told him, I said, dude, that's not a bad loss. Skeeman beat Skimbo out in Lake Tahoe when we were out there in October. The only person beat Skimbo pretty much in the last 4 or 5 months. So he's learned a lot, and he's back, and he's doing a really good job with the MUT salary cap, Zach.
And if you guys haven't been paying attention to the whole club championship, Patriots event was earlier today, and Skimbo, who won the first major, the Classic, and he won the entire championship series last year with the final event. He won that event, so pretty high stuff there for Mike.
Pass completed on the right-hand side to Savage, gain of about 6 or 7 there. Great job and congratulations to Skimbo. Won the Madden 17 championship overall. Won my challenger, 100K, won my challenger, the first one of the year back in September. Went to the finals in Lake Tahoe. Just won the Madden Challenge, well, the Madden Classic as well, and he's on his way. Just won the Patriots Club Series.
Are we doing it, Larry?
Club Championship.
Are we doing it?
I'm giving him the new GOAT. You already know that. I think we are.
Okay. I was just wondering if we were doing it.
Well, what do you think? I'd love to hear from you because I respect your Madden Bible perspective there.
Hashtag new GOAT. It's going to take me more than 140 characters. Now I've got 280 characters, but it's going to take me even more to explain it. I would need like a podcast format, 30-minute soliloquy, which nobody has time for and wants to hear me talk that long about Problem, Skimbo, social media, Madden.
It's good talk, though. It's good for Madden.
I would bring in Michael Jordan. I'd bring in LeBron James.
Absolutely.
I'd be chatting about
Tom Brady.
all that. Tom Brady, new GOAT. It would take a long time, and I don't know if this is the platform, but 2 amazing players in both Problem and then Skimbo. I mean, the run is unbelievable.
It is.
The run is unbelievable. Easily the best player of the last 2 years.
I think if he gets another major, and especially if he wins the Madden 18 overall championship, then I think you have some substance there when you talk about, is he the new GOAT? When I was looking at GOAT, I meant like, okay, well, what has Eric done recently? He hasn't won in a while. If you're a GOAT, you win. Brady
finals,
did that.
Couple finals.
You lived in Boston. I was there in Boston.
Yeah.
When the Patriots did win, people in Boston were like, yeah, you guys won a division title, but you haven't won a Super Bowl in 10 years.
That was the dry years.
Exactly. That's what it's like when you're the GOAT. More is expected of you. But 2 really good players. And there's a run on the right-hand side. 2nd and inches, a gain of none yards there. It'll be 3rd and 1, probably lost some inches on that run there. 3rd and 1 for Savage, known as we're about to wrap up here with Killer Mike with a 20-point lead. But all of this is great for Madden. That's the bottom line.
Great.
We've got some great rivalries. Dubby's in there. Serious Mo's in there. Skeeman's done a good job. I like him. True Boy's moving on up in there. I like the young guys with Drenny and Joel CP. We've got young Kiv here. I like all of these cats. Get in there and bang heads. Oh, we got a fumble, and it's looked like it's recovered by the Army. The Air Force Command Post Controller, Killer Mike, and it's going over on downs. I think that's his 4th turnover of today.
Yeah, and, you know, you fumble with Russell Wilson, but that's a big-time hit. You can't be taking big hits. I taught you guys how to slide earlier, and that's why you slide. That lesson was before you needed it. So, you know, you can't open yourself up with all those big hitters that he has. And ultimately, Larry, the Madden Championship Series, 16. The use was 18 last year, but now you've got players as young as 16 competing in this thing. It's opened up a whole new field. So for the young guys out there, start competing online, and you'll be ready to go by the time you're eligible.
Love it, too. The chatter with Madden 18, the hashtag has grown. You got NFL players. I was with Brandon Marshall a couple of weekends ago up in Toronto for the Canadian Challenge up there. He's into it. A lot of these NFL guys are looking at it, and they're like, look, we look at this like real football, and that's where we want Madden to grow. It's our community. We want it all to grow. We want a tide to lift all boats, and that's what it's about. We've got some great players. We've got great broadcasters, and Matt Marcoux and your job and your staff doing a great job down there, RG and those guys, representing Madden and putting it on the map. It is growing as an e-sport. We're putting the sport into esports, ladies and gentlemen, thanks to you guys, the young fans of the National Football League and these 12s here in Seattle.
big-time community across all areas. Twitch, YouTube. If you like Madden, there's something going on every weekend for you to log in and watch through April. So become a part of it. When the season ends in the Super Bowl, the football season ends, Larry, but then it's Madden season.
It is. It's like the football season. It's mirroring Madden in the NFL in the real world, where it's a year-long league. And there's the handshake. Great sportsmanship there. And Killer Mike on the left-hand side of your screen. John Savage on the right-hand side. Guys, give it up for them once again, the 12s. Great job out there, guys. And look at this audience. What a packed house here inside of Central League Field. Jeff Richards and his staff. Justin and those guys with the Seahawks. Huge Monday night game here against the Falcons on Monday. And there's Killer Mike